You got to love this. The New York City mayor blaming homelessness issue on illegal immigrants that he's saying are being sent up by callous red states like Arizona and Texas.
If there was ever an all hands on deck moment, this is it. This is it. Our system was inundated with those who were seeking shelter because of the callousness of those other states that pushed them out. We're here, we're receiving them, and everyone is going to have to be on board.
Governor Abbott has been very clear and said, no, we've only sent people to Washington, D.C. to show the politicians there what it's like to have this kind of people, many people dumped into your city at one time. By the way, it's having an effect there too. Mayor Bowser's talked about that in D.C. And it's been something that is real. But where Adams is wrong is it's the Biden administration sending him to New York.
He's factually wrong. And he keeps doubling down on this. It's been very clear that this was not Texas, Arizona, and New Mexico and California. This was the federal government doing the relocation of illegal immigrants coming into the United States. But he made the statement, all hands on deck. And doesn't all hands on deck have to start at the source of the area? And that is, once they're in the United States, it's really very late in the game to try to fix it.
What he says is that we're a sanctuary city, but he doesn't want to take on the burden of understanding that a sanctuary city needs to put its hands in its pockets with both hands in both pockets and come up with the money. So he looks to Joe Biden to help him. Joe Biden's not going to help you in this. It's a disaster from the beginning. I
don't care what city you're in. Most cities right now are dealing with this. And they're dealing with it because if you look at the sheer numbers, when you're talking about 250,000 people a month, you're talking about 3 million people a year. In 2 years, that's 6 million people. You're going to notice that in every single community. And that's what's happening, actually, Jordan. And that's where the failure of the policy is.
Everything that Mayor Adams is talking about is something that red states have been dealing with and been ignored by the Biden administration. They have said our schools are overrun. What did he say? Our schools are going to be overrun. So, our healthcare system is going to be overrun.
But it's also taxing the legal systems, both the criminal system, the regular general criminal system, and also, of course, the legal immigration system.
The immigration judges, the law enforcement officers, the sheriffs, the police officers. I mean, I've dealt with law enforcement all my life as a prosecutor, both on the state level and, of course, as a U.S. attorney on the federal level. And they cannot handle the overload that these migrants, these illegal aliens who are coming into the United States are bringing in terms of keeping the law and order, securing the peace, and doing the things that you've got to do to police in a normal sense. Now you've got this influx of immigrants on top of that.
The mayor there is trying to shift blame, Mayor Adams shift blame to Texas and Arizona, when in fact it is the Biden administration. But even inside the homeless advocate world, which is a big operation in New York, they're saying we're dealing with this in such record numbers that the illegal immigrants are just a small part of this much bigger problem that we're going to have to deal with, like crime.
This is exactly what we were talking about when we said you had an open border policy, which is basically what we have, when you don't have border security, which is basically we don't have, and then take another step. It doesn't just affect Texas and California and Arizona or New Mexico. It affects every single city in the country.
We had wall being built where it was necessary. We had Remain in Mexico, where the Mexican government did agree to...
Did away with catch and release.
Yep, did away with catch. So, yes, it's never going to be perfect. It's a giant border, so you're going to always have issues with it. But what we were trying to do in the Trump years was, how do you limit it to where you've got where are your vulnerabilities, and then you focus there, instead of the entire border being vulnerable.